field that helps humanity and this beautiful planet.
Joe Kiani was a 15-year-old Iranian immigrant when he started attending San Diego State University in the 1980s. His family comes from the city of Shiraz. After moving to San Diego, he graduated from Valhalla High School. Kiani has built a corporation called Masimo, now based in Irvine, on a technology that tests blood oxygen levels. He perfected it with the help of his business partner and his favorite professor. And now Masimo has annual revenues of about $2 billion. Speaking at a San Diego State lecture series, Kiani said his approach to business and life is to know that there are some problems that are way too big for one person to solve.
If you try to attack those, you may not get anywhere. You may harm yourself and people you love. But you should go after the things you can fix, the things that are your size, maybe a little bit bigger than you. And I think if you do that, that will be your legacy.
Pulse oximetry is the non-invasive way of measuring the oxygen saturation of hemoglobin, a protein in your red blood cells that delivers oxygen to your tissues. The technology is known to anybody who's had their blood oxygen level tested by placing a finger in a comfortable clamp during a hospital visit. It monitors the blood by shining lights through the skin.
If you're breathing fine, if your heart's pumping right, you should be between 97 and 100%. But if your lung or heart has any problems, then that oxygen level could drop down to 80, 70, 60, to a level where people can't survive.
Pulse oximetry predated Kiani's work, but the old technology had a problem. Fred Harris is an electrical engineer and longtime SDSU professor who Kiani sees as a mentor. He says body movement causes capillaries to close and stop blood flow.
And when the capillaries close, there's no more fresh blood flowing, and the detector says not enough oxygen.
Those false readings caused Kiani and his business partner, Mohammed Diab, to develop an innovation that had its origin in a class Harris taught about adaptive algorithms. They modified an algorithm that allowed pulse oximetry to spot the false oxygen readings. But Kiani has been forced to spend years protecting his invention. Harris says in the world of medical technology, it's not surprising.
If you have a successful technology, then you're subject to attack by people with deep pockets. Simple as that.
Kiani agrees.
Big companies truly believe they can bury the small company with legal fees. So they take whatever they like, and they really assume you can't stand up to them.
The legal battle with Apple began almost 10 years ago when Kiani met with Apple executives who were curious about his oximetry methods. Soon, he noticed some of his employees defecting to Apple. Ultimately, Apple included pulse oximetry technology in its Apple Watch. Masimo took them to court for patent infringement. Kiani doesn't hesitate to blast the computer giant.
They stole our people. They stole our patents. They stole our property. And that's not unusual for them.
A federal appeals court and the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office seem to agree with most of that. The court upheld Masimo's patents and forced Apple to remove pulse oximetry from their watches. Apple would not give KPBS an interview for this story. They provided a company statement saying their appeal in the Masimo case is ongoing, and they strongly disagree with decisions in favor of Masimo. Pending the appeal, the statement said, Apple is taking steps to comply with the ruling. That included introducing a version of Apple Watches without the blood oxygen feature. Today, Masimo is no longer a shoestring startup that can't afford to defend their property in court. Kiani said he has acquired companies with promising technology, but he believes they were fair deals.
We haven't forgotten who we were. I always root for innovators and small companies. But one thing I will guarantee you, we every time will respect other people's intellectual property. Never will we step on companies just because we think we can.
Thomas Fudge, KPBS News.